Good evening, everyone. I did not announce this live stream, so I hope you can join me. There's something important I want to discuss with you, and I hope you can share this link with me so that we can get as many people into this chat as we can. I'm not going to keep you for very long, but I think this information that I'm about to share is very important. Okay, we have 5 people in the chat now. Let's see if we can get more people into the chat. Like I said, this is unannounced. The chat is growing now. We have 24 people, 47. Hi, Nanan. So please comment in the chat. I hope that the sound is fine. Can you all hear me? Hi, Suzette. Hi, Zulega. Mari. Hi. Just tell me that you can hear me, please. Hi, Derek. You can hear me fine. Okay. I just wanted to make sure because I'm using a new way of actually doing live streams. So I just need to make sure sound is good. Okay, awesome. Welcome here. I don't know if you actually saw the thumbnail of this video, but yeah, there's some disturbing things happening around the world. And I specifically want to discuss Shanghai with you tonight because who of you are aware of what's happening in Shanghai at the moment? Are there any of you that are aware of what is happening in Shanghai at the moment? No idea. Okay, some of you will know, will have some idea of what's happening in Shanghai. They've started another, what they call a COVID-19 lockdown. And they've been locked down for 3 weeks now. It's not the fact that it's a lockdown that you should be concerned with. What you should be concerned with is the fact that this is a test for the next round. And we are part of the BRICS countries. So Russia, China, South Africa, Brazil, and India are part of BRICS. And if you look at what's happening in Shanghai now, it is literally a test station for what is to come. And you need to ask yourself, is that our future? Are you happy with that to be your future? So please, I want you to share this video with your friends and family. I want people to think about this. Literally, sit down with your spouse, your older children, and ask yourself, are you willing to make this the new normal? Now, some people have complained at how China has locked down their people, but we know that other countries have done worse than what China did initially when the so-called Wuhan situation unfolded. And now China has started this lockdown in Shanghai, and what they've done is they've literally committed people to be prisoners in their flats. So they cannot come out, they cannot come into the street, they're not allowed to get any supplies, they can't go to the shops. There's actually red lines taped outside their buildings to tell them how far they may come. And, food passes are passed to them through small holes in concrete barricades or steel barricades around these buildings. And their pets are being killed. Um, you know, these are all things to cause severe trauma because these pets don't transfer what they call the COVID-19 disease. So, what are they doing? The pets need food, and they are saying that there won't be enough food supply. The other thing that they are talking about is the fact that the ports, they are not bringing containers through. Now, if you look at the situations in South Africa, our ports are already under severe stress. We have not seen the worst of that situation yet. And with more heavy rains coming in KwaZulu-Natal, that port is not going to be able to function for an extended period of time. And for those of you that have seen the footage around KZN, should understand what I'm talking about. The Cape Town port is not working properly. The city of Cape Town is looking at selling the port. Now, to get back to Shanghai, they are creating a step up level that is supposed to be a new normal. And if you actually look at the stepped up level, you will see that everything is hardcore isolation. In other words, a new level of isolation um, that's never before seen since World War II and World War One, where biological agents were used in war and people had to protect themselves. And I've been warning people for some time that you need to be able to be protected against that. Now, anything can happen anywhere around the world at this point in time with regards to an airborne pathogen. Anything. So this can be gases can be released. There can be chemical toxins released. There can be biological agents released. Um, there can be bioweapons that are in the form of viral loads, bacterial loads, whatever can be released um, by anyone with an agenda. And as I've said, Bill Gates has warned before that these events will come, these attacks will come. He called it attacks that will come due to bioterrorism. Now, how he knows this, you need to ask him. But what you need to understand is that he's warning people, and they are trying to set up a World Health Organization task force for bioterrorism. All that is happening in Shanghai right now is they are seeing the people's resolve. What will people put up with? And after 3 weeks, people are going crazy. They are literally killing themselves. They are asking to be killed. And this video will probably be censored because of what we are discussing. But it's important for you to know at this stage that you need to ask yourself, what will you be able to cope with? I can tell you in KZN right now, many people are cut off from many things. There's many areas where there's no water supply, there's no electricity, there's no access to shops. The shops are closed, they have no access to food. How are these people going to survive and cope? And the people that don't have access now, where will they find anything? And in Shanghai, these people in these high rise buildings are at the government's behest. They are waiting for the government to come and feed them, and the government cannot get food to them fast enough, even although the government locked them down. Now, there's something fundamentally wrong with the fact that the human being allows himself to be dictated to by a government to be put into a situation where they could die because of malnutrition or because of lack of water. And anyone that willingly allows himself to be put into that situation needs their head read. And yet, this is happening in China right now. This will happen in South Africa if we do not think for ourselves what we are willing to do to remain free. Even if many people die due to some biological threat, chemical agent, or whatever, or natural disasters, as long as you have a right to fight for the right to survive and get access to food and water, as long as you have that right, people have a chance. As long as you hand that over to government, you might have no chance. If you look at what is happening in Shanghai now, where people are screaming from their balconies because they are losing their minds after 3 weeks of intense lockdown. And I don't think people understand what this looks like. Where mothers and fathers have been separated from their children. Because if your child is suspected to be sick, they would take the child away to a quarantine center. What are you going to do if your child is taken from you and taken to a quarantine center? The very last video I did speaks about a treaty that will be enacted by 2024 around the world that'll allow exactly what we are doing now with our Health Act, which is another experiment of the World Health Organization, to give the government rights to take your freedom away like you cannot believe. To enable the government to remove your child from you if there's even suspicion of your child being sick. Are you going to allow this? Are we going to allow the situation to deteriorate to that point? And what do we do to counteract that? And this is very important to understand. To counteract that, we need to get together in numbers often. We need to get together in numbers across the country, meet up with each other. That is the only way to organize. If you do not organize, if you're not organized and then prepare yourself, you will not be able to do anything. You will merely be a subject to what happens to you. And at this stage, I've given up on begging and pleading with people. The people that are on this channel that are willing to listen to what I have to say, you would have benefited from the advice that I've given you, especially if you're in KZN or the Eastern Cape or any of the areas that have been hard hit at this stage. Because it is very simple principles. This is not rocket science, people. It is basic, simple survival principles. And for those of you that are new to this channel, welcome. Go back and watch the videos in the Moments in Time and Question Everything series and watch the rest of the videos. Watch my live streams. Watch the important live stream series, of which this is one of them. An impromptu live stream that is vital for you to understand. If you think that what is happening in Shanghai won't be enacted here exactly, or even worse, you have another thing coming. I can tell you unemphatically that the government is preparing for that day. They're already telling you, and I'm not saying it's going to happen this year or it's going to happen next year. It will happen by 2025. At the latest, we will be there. But it can happen sooner, and we need to be prepared for that. We can change things in this country to the point where it won't be possible for global powers to put that kind of restriction on us and for us to accept it. If we are prepared, we don't need the government's help and shouldn't need the government's help. Anyone that's going to beg and plead from the government to bring them food and water will lose all their freedom. You will lose everything. Everything. And as Klaus Schwab has so kindly said, you will own nothing and you will be happy. He says it for a reason, because he sits on the committee of 300, where they have made a decision some time ago to enact bioterrorism on this world to make sure that people behave a certain way, that people relinquish to the point that they will accept this new order and this one world government. Now, I am not interested in that, and I am not going to allow my family to be a part of that. And like I said before, I'm not going to come and help you. I'm going to look after my family. I'm here to warn you. I'm warning you that what you are seeing in Shanghai right now, and if you haven't seen it yet, just Google screams from balconies in Shanghai. You can go and look at all the footage coming from there, where they are literally finding the pets and killing them in the streets. People are losing their minds because of what the government is doing to them. There's been many military movements around this country in the past couple of months. Not UN movements, military movements. Where the government gets the funds to do this, I have no idea. But I can tell you one thing. I know that they are moving military equipment around to have military personnel stationed at other areas than their normal bases for extended periods of time. Because all of the footage I've seen of the convoys, those that are legitimate, I can tell you that that is logistical support for a remote base that is supposed to be set up somewhere for an extended period of time. That is what's being moved around right now. And there are many crowd control vehicles. Now, our government hasn't got the money to move the military around. We can't even get our jets into the air. So who is funding this? Who is funding this? That is what you need to think about. So people, please, I don't want ever to be a fearmonger. What I want to tell you is what is going to happen. So this is not about fear. This is about being prepared. And if you are prepared, you don't have to fear. You don't have to think that something's going to happen tomorrow or the next week or the next month or the next year. You need to be prepared for anything right now. And if you are not, then you should fear. If you do not fear, you are not human. Then you're already dead or you don't care. And I really can't be bothered with the situation you find yourself in. So I really want to ask you at this time to consider what is happening in Shanghai and many other places in the world, but specifically there. Look at it, study it, follow it for the next period of time and see how it plays out. Because Shanghai will tell you what will follow in many places in the world. And when someone like the Canadian president goes and says unemphatically that he doesn't want independent media in his country and he wants to vet them to decide whether they can actually say what is happening out there. You need to understand that there are no democracies left in the world. They don't exist. In the last couple of decades, there's been zero democracy anywhere. If people tell you that we have a democracy or there is a democracy, they are lying to you. They are lying to you. They are not talking the truth. There are no democracies currently in the world. And in Shanghai, you can clearly see that those poor people are being subjected to a government that tells them that they have their best interest at heart. It is absolutely shocking that that government will tell you that this is what is needed for you to survive. You can't choose. Those people are living in blocks of flats. They don't have places where they can grow food. Can have nowhere they can walk and get water. They are completely and utterly at their government's behest. Don't get yourself into that situation. Don't allow yourself to get there. Overcome your urge to just spend in this world and prepare yourself for every eventuality. Now, that is a broad thing to say, but start with 3 months' food and water supply. Start there. And once you have done that, move on and make sure that you have a year's supply of everything that you and your family will need to survive. And make sure that you have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. And those of you that are closer to me will know exactly what I mean by that. Those of you that have been to my meetings. I really ask you to share this video, like it and share it so that as many people as possible can see this. And I ask you and implore you to go and research and see what is happening in Shanghai right now. I will be doing a live stream with the subscribers on this channel every Tuesday evening at 8 o'clock. Then every Thursday evening at 8 o'clock, I will be doing my members live streams where I will be giving those members of the channel a lot more detail because it's a filtered community. And I really want to thank the people that are making it possible for this channel to continue. I will be doing my next interview for Ground Zero very soon. And I want to thank all of you that have gone and subscribed to Ground Zero, that have achieved 2,100 subscribers now and is still growing. And when I release that interview, you will have a better idea of what it's going to take, for us to get through this in South Africa. And we will make it. We already have the critical mass to grow to make this work. It's going to take a lot of reflection, introspection, and hard work and effort. We don't have a choice at the end of the day. A lot of people have asked me, Desmond, thank you for doing this. And I say to them, you don't have to thank me. Please do not thank me. I'm not happy that I have to be doing what I am doing. I have no choice. There's a difference. If I had a choice, I'll be very happy and I wouldn't be doing this. I am doing this because I have no choice. If I want my wife and my kids to be safe in future, I have no choice but to do this and get as many people as possible to understand what is happening. Because in future, with plan B, I am going to need people around me that I can trust. With plan C, you're on your own. It's like Mad Max out there. And just like in Shanghai now, where people in China have raided shops, can you imagine a country where executions take place left, right, and center, that people will dare to raid a shop? What kind of desperation is that? 3 weeks is all it took. 3 weeks. Think about that. Please share this video with your friends and family. Thank you for coming on. Next week, Tuesday, I will see all of the subscribers on this channel at 8 o'clock. It'll be a weekly institution for that live chat. And it won't necessarily be on a specific topic. We can cover on that day all the news of the week, all the things I want to highlight with you, and spend that time with you. On Thursday evenings at 8 o'clock, I will spend time with the members of this channel. If you want to become a member, click the join button underneath this video and become a part of the channel membership, where you will be able to watch all the past content that has been put out. And there is oodles of information, lots and lots of information. The other thing I want to tell people, especially those that are new on this channel, we are heading towards 40,000 subscribers, not because this is a channel filled with sensation. It's because people get information here, tough info. And this channel hasn't grown easily. It's been a difficult year, or almost 2 years now, because I often say things people don't like. This channel goes through a huge flux of subscribers all the time, but it's always had net growth. Now, I don't know how much more this channel will be able to grow. I never thought it will get to 40,000 subscribers, and we'll probably get there within next month. But it's incredible that that is the case, that the amount of people in the country, this critical mass, is actually growing. And the one point I want to make is it cannot be about me. All I can give you is information that I have, and I want you to go out and apply it in your life any way you want. Any way you want. The best truth is seeing things happening for yourself and deciding what that means in your life, and then taking action accordingly. So I need you, for my family's safety, to make sure you have 3 months food and water supply. The more people that have this close to me or even around the country, the better for me and my family. The better it will be for you too. So encourage other people to do the same. And just as we met last weekend in Jeffreys Bay, where we had 50 people come together. And yes, it was a first event in the Eastern Cape on a very windy day. We had lots of fun, spent time together. It was a huge success. And because these things happen and they're not put all over social media, we have power to do things that other people can't even see. At these events, one can filter who is present and who is not. And I'm not going to be at all these events. I want you to continue having them. Organize them yourself. I don't even want to know about it. If we don't do it and we don't have gatherings where people talk to each other, get each other's contact details, and organize, you will not survive what is coming. You will not survive. I can guarantee you that. Thank you very much for joining this live stream now. Please, if you're not familiar, go and look at what is happening in Shanghai. And you want that as your future in this country. I can tell you, Cyril Ramaphosa, if he goes against the global elites, he will be eliminated. He's walking a very tightrope right now. And I still beg him, I will keep on begging him to fight for what is right. You can change your mind. You can change how things are done. You can put those small little things, obstacles, in their path to make sure that we have time. to prepare. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. I hope you all have a wonderful Easter weekend. I will be seeing the members tomorrow evening, and we have a lot of important things to discuss. Thank you very much. Bye.